Hello, Pastor KT here for our questions this week. Sorry that it is so late in the day, but this morning we had the opportunity, the blessing to be able to move someone from our congregation into a new place. And so that's what we were up to for the beginning part of the day. And then I had to get a little rest in. so, here to answer questions this afternoon. Betsy will be joining me again next week, but for this week, it's just me. Hello. We had one question over the last 2 weeks because we weren't able to do it last week. I was sick. Betsy had broken her foot. It has been a rough couple weeks for your pastors. And so if you could just make sure that you're keeping us in prayer, keeping Betsy in prayer. She continues to recover from her breaking of her foot and other injuries. And so we just ask that you continue to lift us up as we know that you guys have been. But we're doing a question this week. We had one question over the last 2 weeks. And the question this week that I'm going to be answering is actually looking at Leviticus 2017. And Leviticus 2017 says, if a man marries his sister, the daughter of either his father or his mother, and they have sexual relations, it is a shameful disgrace. They must be publicly cut off from the community. Since the man has violated his sister, he will be punished for his sin. And the question was, why is this here? Why is this a rule when the descendants of Israel come from Abraham and Sarah, who were half siblings, right? Abraham did marry his half sister, Sarah, and that's who Isaac came from, and who Jacob came from, and who the entire nation of Israel came from. And so the question is, well, why is God saying that these people, that if someone does that, they should be cut off from the community and punished, and that it's sin if it's what Abraham and Sarah did? And again, just because Abraham and Sarah did it doesn't mean it's not a sin. I think we go back to that God explaining what happened and describing what happened with people doesn't make what they did okay. We see, in fact, that the very fact that they were half siblings and that Abraham relied on that got them into a lot of trouble, was wrong in many situations. And that might even be part of why God is making it so clear that this should not happen, is because of what happened with Abraham and Sarah. But also, again, just because they did that doesn't mean it was right. Doesn't mean it's what they should have done. And so, yes, God is in writing this. He's acknowledging that what Abraham and Sarah did was wrong. In God commanding this, he's saying that, like, this is not right. We see that throughout Scripture, that there are multiple examples of people and things happening that are not right, and yet they're still leaders and founders of our faith. There's still people that God worked mightily through. And that's the beauty of it, is that we see that these people have done things wrong. They have done things that are not according to the way God would have things done perfectly and righteously. And yet he still uses them, and yet he still works through them. And so, yes, Abraham and Sarah married each other. And yes, there's a scripture here that says that is sin, and that those people should be cut off from the community and punished for their sin. Yes, it is sin to marry your sibling. Also, sorry, I'm just gonna put it out there. Yes, it is sin, right? But yes, we also see people that did that in scripture that God still worked through. And that is true throughout all of scripture. It doesn't make what they did not sin. And so that's our answer this week. Hope that you guys can join us throughout this week as we continue to read through Numbers. And then we'll see you next Saturday. Bye.